Hello, everyone. Welcome to the special edition of CXO Leadership Towards Digital India, presented by Google on Moneycontrol. I am Ravish Dev, and I'm a digital enthusiast working with brands across categories like CPG, real estate, lead gen, BFSI, and many others, and ensuring that they succeed on digital advertising. Before that, I have worked extensively with television and radio brands. What often do we get to hear these days, both from large organizations to small businesses, about their marketing strategy? Digital is the way forward. The COVID pandemic has adversely affected businesses of all sizes with all sorts of business models. To overcome that, they have found a solution for retaining their customers and to drive sustainability in the market with one and one way only going digital. Hence, we are all here today to have a stimulating decision on unlocking digital for growth, for which we have a very special panel of guests joining in. We look forward to getting their insights on how they digitize their businesses, what has been their digital strategy, and how it has changed their consumer behavior. In short, we bring forth a glimpse of the revolution that digital marketing is bringing to the table and showcasing how it is helping them to accelerate their business growth. With that, I will now introduce our esteemed panel. First, we have Mr. Sushil Giri, who is Assistant General Marketing in Digital Sales for Hari Bhumi Communications Private Limited. Next, we have Mr. Lingaraj Lenka, who is the Head of Marketing and Sales for Eastern Media Limited. Then, we have Mr. Dhruv Jain, who is the CEO of Oswal Soap Group. And last but not the least, we have Mr. Asit Roy, who is Vice President Sales and Marketing for Anchor Health and Beauty Care Private Limited. Welcome aboard, gentlemen, and it's a pleasure to see all of you. I would also like to introduce and make us join the panel Ruchita Taneja, who leads new business development for Google India. Welcome aboard, Ruchita.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Great. It's a pleasure having all of you here, and it would be an enriching discussion to understand from you as to how you are visioning your business's growth the next 2 to 3 years. With that, we will dive right into the thick of things. My first question to all of you is: how has the pandemic ushered in a change in the overall business and consumer behavior? What is the change specifically that you see from a sales and marketing point of view? Mr. Roy, could I have your point of view on the same?
Uh, this is never happened with your Indian history. The pandemic was happened. We have seen lockdown. We never thought about what is the lockdown. Okay,
Yes.
this lockdown scenario has given lot of changes into Indian business consumer. Basically, we have been observed the online business and offline business also neighbor by store. It was basically neighbor by store, and people don't like to go outside. They like to have to the online business. As per my belief, the online business growth in last 2 years is not even growth the last 10 years. What is the last 2 years they have been earned? Last before 10 years they have not that category, because people prefer to online, because this pandemic was panic situation for us. In that panic situation, everybody has implemented and do the marketing on that particular in online business. Everyone, every FMCG company, even FMCG, non-FMCG, both are understand there is a lot of scope in or online business, and which one people don't be trust on the, this is not for this is the online business, I don't have to go and buy the purchase for the materials. That the concept developing differently. And that time last 2 years in Ruchita, and you people are must be knowing, you people are into Google business. I think so. More than 100% growth comes into the online activation. It can marketing, it can be sales promotion, it can be sales oriented or marketing activation relation. That had been really changed, and conceptually people are accepted. Yes, there is a digital marketing platform exit, and we have to invest in digital platform only. And every company, every big FMCG company, any FMCG company, they are also ready to invest into the digital platform, because today in India almost 80 crore people are using the smartphone. That is the easy way to reach the your customer. That's matter has been changed drastically. That's my opinion.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that great snippet on a consumer insight. We all agree that first time buyers and shoppers, that phenomenon has accelerated in the last 2 years, and the advent of smartphones in a consumer journey. So, thank you for sharing that with us.
So I
If I could
just
request, yes,
wanted to add something on that.
sure.
See, there's an era that where brick and mortar stores were trusted, but in pandemic, when we can have a live example like that in the leading e-shopping sites, you can find a mask of rupees 30 rupees with a delivery charge of approximately 40, 45, 50 rupees. And the person living in a 2 tier or 3 tier city can get an access of a mask. It's in home delivery for 100 rupees, and it's near Kirana wala or a pharmaceutical store, is taking an advantage of that pandemic of giving him for 100 200 rupees, and he's overcharging just because of but he's charging just for an advantage and for the certain situation. That era has been vanished, where brick and mortar stores were trusted more, as in an online digital sites are being trusted and highly accepted in the consumer in last 2 years. And I can see a very big potential in that if the certain proper steps in form of a government is being taken, and this is going to be the next boom, and people have gain very much trust in this.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
I truly accept the ideology of Dhruv. Absolutely correct.
Mr. Sushil, it would be great to have your point of view on this.
Media industry faced very worse period during the COVID, it's in the lockdown, and at that time, in the social media, in the WhatsApp group, or you can say other social platform, Facebook, one rumor was spread that if you read the newspaper, you will be the victim or victim of the COVID, or आपको कोविड हो सकता है. That type of the news was separated in the social media, and the people's behavior at that time changed through print media to digital media. And at that time we also emphasized that we have focus on the our e-paper, Haribhumi e-paper, and at that time we gain approximate 70-80%, more than 70-80% new reader of Haribhumi. That time digital media play a vital role for the publication, and day by day the influence influence of the digital media, or the behavior of the consumer readers toward the newspaper has been changed, and they focus on the e-paper contents or e-articles, and they do Google search and the other media platform to get update the social activities. Or the consumer change the behavior of the consumer during the pandemic, uh, and very very tough to analyze what we have to do to capture our or retain our subscriber and the uh, for the survival of newspaper.
With that, I would actually then use this opportunity in which all of you have spoken about a shift in the consumer behavior, and that is actually 100% on point. With that, how do you see consumers now adapting to this digital medium for most of their activities? A. And secondly, do you think that this shift in consumer behavior is a long term shift?
Let me tell you about our group background. We are a media conglomerate of Orissa. We have interest in print media, digital media, radio media. We are Radio Chocolate is the #1 FM radio station of Orissa. Print, we bring out the largest circulated Oriya Daily Sambad. Kanak News is the premier news channel. I'll tell you, pre-pandemic, we used to circulate around 4 lakh copies. If I present a cumulative figure of all the newspapers in Orissa, it was around 14 lakh copies. During the pandemic, these 14 lakh copies came down to 6 lakhs and odd. There, we started a carved out a division called Sambad Group Digital. All the digital content of our traditional media were clubbed here, and I started looking after it. What happened, we see the newspaper, which was circulating around 4 lakh copies, maybe within a span of 2 years. Here, the government took a call that they will not allow the printing of newspapers because of the distribution issues. For 6 long months, our newspaper, we could not print our newspaper. There, all the 2.80 crore Android phone users, they shifted to consuming news for different verticals, and from there only, I think we have seen a drastic increase in digital news consumption, whereas the the traditional print vertical could not grow. From here, since I have worked almost 23 years in media, hardcore media, I was managing Radio Chocolate as a station head. I have launched Kanak News. So I could see in coming years, it is very difficult for a vernacular Delhi to come back and get the earlier numbers of pre-pandemic. Now, digital media is the only option to reach out to nook and cranny of Orissa and every segment of users. Now, the problem is, I think I am sitting with my competition Google here. Why I'll tell you, we treat ourselves as a mini Google in Orissa, although we operate almost in the Google platform.
Ravish, if I can just come in and maybe
Sure.
answer the question that you'd asked the panel, right, about what are we seeing in the consumer behavior, and Mr. Roy spoke about it, Dhruv spoke about it, you spoke about it as well. Clearly 2.5 years ago when the lockdown happened, I think a lot of Indian consumers, while they may have been on the internet, their comfort with online may not have been as much, and that has clearly leapfrogged. Mr. Asad did speak about, the digitization having accelerated in these 2 years equal to 10 years. And I think that is something that we've seen as well. We've seen that, 65% of the Indian consumers who were earlier buying things in an offline world are now actually coming online and, making that and are comfortable making that purchase online. A lot of things have helped this, right? One of the things that has helped this is, of course, the proliferation of internet. So today, out of the 1.35 billion people that we have in India, 692 million are on the internet. On an average, they spend about 6 hours a day on the internet. In parallel, what has also happened is the data affordability, fueled by all the telcos, Jio, Airtel and others, has made data affordable, made internet accessible and affordable. The third thing is digital payments. The fact that everyone has now started to trust the reliance of digital payments is also helping this online behavior. So clearly we are seeing some of the actions of consumers which began with necessity are now staying online because, they are liking the time and cost convenience and the saving. They're liking the variety of options that's available. They're liking the flexible payment options that are available. And that's why they're choosing to stay online. An interesting data point that came out recently in an IT report is that the comfort with digital commerce that has also increased. So we've seen a 23% YOY increase in digital commerce in the last 1 year. And if you were to look at this for a rural audience in India, it's actually grown 40% YOY. So clearly this trend of getting comfortable with online is happening both across rural as well as urban. In fact, for the first time, rural internet users have crossed the urban internet users. So we now have 351 million rural consumers online and 341 in the urban in the urban center. So clearly there is a lot of that change that's happening, and we are seeing that from a business point of view. We're seeing a lot of legacy businesses like even jewelry, Tanishq with their Carrot Lane brand, while they may have originally been only traditional, but now they've adopted an offline as well as online model. So clearly there is a lot of this comfort that is got built in, and we think this is here to stay.
Great. Thank you for sharing that.
Great. Really, what he's talking about, that we have a two kind of strategy was there. One is India, that is we called as a urban market. One was the Bharat, that is the rural market. But today, after to the pandemic, the Bharat and India becoming one. Bharat is over excited than India. I think so. It's my knowledge. So Bharat is now overtaking the India market. That's the real beauty of Indian rural market.
That's a fantastic point, sir, and even I 100% agree with you. Also, I think that the opportunity which lies in Bharat is many-fold greater than what we have seen succeed for a lot of organizations in India. So with that, I think we can move on to the next question. We can safely assume and say that digital is here to stay. And a lot of you, and we are thankful for the fact, shared that you have been focusing on increasing your efforts on digital marketing, or at least starting to do so. What I would want to ask and understand from you is now that what are the challenges you think you or your organization might face or have been facing in increasing this adoption of digital in your organization?
In FMCG industry, before 2-3 years back, digital was a fancy for India. Digital advertisement or marketing is a fancy for India. Yes, we are present in digital, we are present in this. But today, after this pandemic, we understand digital is not a fancy for your marketing or advertising thing. It is the reality of life. You have to spend your money into digital media. Otherwise, you cannot touch the customer. Today, even in Bharat, you can find an autowala, rickshawala, they are using Facebook and YouTube or Google, anything, any search engine they are doing. So that is also, you are also in the FMCG industry, we are targeting the customer. Who is our extreme customer? They are using that media or they are not using the media. If they are using that media, it digital or non-digital, we have to target them. Before 2 years, 2 to 3 years back, we are a fancy category. Okay, we are present all these things. Today, it's a important. We have to have aggressively presence into the digital media. And people preferably like to have this digital media in both in India as well as Bharat. People are really outbounding. They have also getting lot of information through the digital platform. That is also important. That people are today liking to get lot of information from the digital platform.
Here I would like to contribute. Basic challenges which we are facing now is connectivity. Digital content is fine. We can create good content. We can make it available to the users. A place like Orissa, we are a 30 district state, catering to close to 4.5 crore people. Still, people are using 3G handsets out here, 2G handsets out here. Now, when the order of the day is, if your content is not viewed within 2 to 3 seconds, then immediately the bounce rate goes up. Here, even if I talk about geo connectivity is not that efficient in far off districts the way it is there in Bhubaneswar and Cuttack. Orissa treated as a pre-theme market. In actually, we give good numbers to any company, any product that come our way. The only problem here is digital infrastructure to deliver the content is not that efficient, which it should have been. So we are facing problems. So also anybody who wants to connect digitally, the only problem in Orissa particularly, Orissa almost 5 to 7 distant Naxalite hits. Their towers are not operating. People are not digital literate the way they should be. The basic problem is, अभी अस्सी जी बोल रहे थे ना भारत और इंडिया वन. I distinctly differ your views. In Orissa context में still Bharat and India exist quite in a distant parameters.
Sir, everywhere, sir, everywhere India you can find Bharat, you can find India also. Bhubaneswar, Cuttack, Baharampur, Sambalpur, Jharsuguda, all are in India, and Kalahandi, your down the western Orissa, all are into Bharat, sir.
Mr. Jain, could you please share how this is applicable to your business?
The problem the industry is facing is we are not getting the proper figures of the outcome that we are putting the investment on the digital media or digital era. See, ma'am, there's a issue that you come up with some third-party agency, although they are a maximum agency are affiliated with Google, they are working with Facebooks, they are working with XYZ big brands, and they have their internal team. They say that we provide these SEO engines to you. We can, this is the highest number on the pages that we're going to advertise. People would come on that and they will see your ad for a particular time, 3, 4, 5 seconds. We are not comfortable with the numbers. See, after a month or so or a quarter or so, we have a meeting. So, said, this much amount and time has been invested on this particular project. So what's the outcome? Yeah, people have seen this, but I think they have skipped it. Google has the proper time which has been allocated by the Google on a particular AdWords or the Google affiliated pages or the smart searches. The timings are very odd. In fact, for me, after the 8:30 to 1 o'clock midnight, I'm very surprised to see that maximum ads has been pitched by YouTube, Google on that particular moment. And I can't see for an FMCG company like me or a big company like any other leading player with the global FMCG market, the people would want to see that particular ad on that moment. So after office hours, you are here for the leisure. You are here for the movie, for the proper news or some prime times or some TV serials. So the proper timing to get the consumer for the proper ad to see on a particular time and want to push it for getting their product purchase. So it is what the lagging has been not comfortably done with the SMEs for the digital era. If I'm going with the morning 5:30 to 10 o'clock, so you have a real-time report on this 5:30 to 10 o'clock till the people get started, till the housework gets started, schools have been started. The timing for seeing this particular things for the, let's suppose someone wants to order how your smart engine works, that milk, bread, XYZ. So this thing has to be seen in the morning. Afterwards, it has to be seen the clothing, the shopping websites, the luxury items or the necessity, second necessity things. The things don't work like this. I think it's a problem with the engines or it's a problem with the agency. We need to figure that out. So these are some particular issues that the real time doesn't matches with the people that they want to see and the company want to promote on that moment.
All right. With that, Mr. Sushil, we would request your point of view on this question.
Yeah, what is challenges we are facing after COVID? I want to add a few points. Technology. In the print industry, or you can say the newspaper media, technology is a big challenge. Big player in the industry or India, they adopt the technology and the purchase, but the small player, or you can say the newspaper, it is a very tough to purchase or the maintain, because the day by day several updates and technology uh, influence the Google ranking and other factors. Second factor, we are facing content. Viral, we had in digitalized viral factor, viral and a fact check section, even in e-paper or the print also. But for the local content, people, we attract the readers. So, and when we tends to national content, viral content, we are not able to attract the reader, because the Times of India and other big houses, they attract the readers. Even in particular Chhattisgarh and Haryana and Madhya Pradesh, they also attract the big newspaper and media houses. Third challenge we are facing in digitalization is the paid. When we paid our e-paper, uh, 9 to 10 lakh per day user come to read our newspaper in during the lockdown period. But after the lockdown period, we add subscription or minimum subscription 100 rupees for 6 months. But the people only 2% 2% reader we convert into actual reader. And at that time we are facing our reader went to the local content provider or YouTube content is the news content provider. These are the main fact. I think we are facing challenge this technology or in digitalization.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Sushil. To quickly recap, some of the key themes that were brought on board by all of you were around measurement, it was around infrastructure, and as called out by Mr. Sushil, it also amounts to capturing the right audience which they want to acquire. With that, this gives me an interesting segue to actually put the spotlight onto Ruchita. Ruchita, could you please share any interesting businesses that you have seen pivoting online? What were the challenges they were trying to solve for? And then how did digital literally come to the rescue?
Thank you,
Great.
everyone, for the feedback. And Ravish, you rightly said, what we've seen is whenever we talk to a advertiser, really what they're solving for is increasing sales for their brand. Call it monetization for a media company or sales for an FMCG company, or different industries have different metrics. So that's what everyone is solving for. And one of the learnings, if I can call it that, that is coming into advertisers, and that is something that we are helping many companies with also, is that earlier the mindset of most advertisers was that the consumer journey is linear, which essentially meant that if you're an FMCG company, you only get one chance when the customer walks into your retailer to make an impression. So either you do a sale, move that person from the upper funnel to all the way to purchase, or that's it, right? Or let's say for a media company, like Haribhumi, or what Mr. Dingaraj is talking about as well, it was really about like if you've got a visitor, either you have circulation in the previous print version, or now for the online one, whether do you have a subscriber, or whether you have a download, whether you have a visit on your website, but everyone is clearly wanting to increase sales for their brand, but they are kind of still anchored on catching the customer at one point of the funnel, assuming that the customer journey is linear. But that is something that's completely changed. What's happened for the consumer journey that's online, it is not a linear customer journey. It doesn't begin with a phase of exploration where the customer is trying to find options. From the options that they find, they move to consideration, where they build a short list of options that they want to evaluate, and then they take it to purchase. Actually, what happens with the consumer today is that they may start the journey with a phase of exploration, but during the consideration phase, if they don't zero in on one option, whether it's a soap brand, whether it's a house care brand, whether it's a publication or news article that they're looking for, they go back all the way into exploration, and they keep doing this again and again and again. And sometimes they go all the way from phase of exploration to purchase. So now all advertisers need to kind of tailor their communication strategy and their marketing strategy to be available for the consumer across these points of the customer journey, from the start of the funnel to the end of the funnel. In terms of the challenges that the group has spoken about, measurement clearly is one, big one that we hear as well. And, Ravish, to your point, is that something that we've heard from businesses? Yes, absolutely. And many of the businesses have been honest enough to say that, listen, we are used to a circulation-based measurement. We were used to a GRP-based measurement for TV, but we've now realized that measurement is a very upper funnel measurement. Right? It doesn't translate into sales for us, or it doesn't translate into an ROI measurement for us. And digital, on the other hand, actually allows you to measure various types of, conversion actions, if I can call it, and makes it much easier to measure, report, change your campaign strategy, and also assess the ROI. So if I were to just, use the panel businesses as an example, right? Both Mr. Sushil and Mr. Lingaraj are in the business of media, so looking at how many, if you have an app, like looking at how many installs do you have, how many active users do you have, looking at if you're a web content, how much visits are you getting on the website, how much time are they spending on your website to consume the content, etc., right? So those are those type of measurements. For CPG, you have many, metrics which could be linked to your brand interest lift, could be linked to your sales, could be linked to your trade channel, brand metrics or brand salience, as it is called.
So if I want to just cut to that, in fact, what I have learned is that she's saying it's so very true. First, we initially came up whether to give an ad on a print or a traditional based business. Now, then switch it on to the digital business. Then we had that digital isn't going well. So we had a word with one of the leaders in this digital industry. We told that it is not every time the sales phenomena. It's something like building your brand is also one of the major concern. That why you have a brand celebrity endorsed with your product is getting a brand, a reputation that the celebrity has a trust in your brand, and people would have a belief that if this celebrity is using, or this celebrity has an endorsement of that particular brand, it works fine for us. So the digital era is a kind of a second substitute to the things that we can't achieve on that particular basis.
I do agree with Jain Saab. See, today is digital media is second option for the marketing and advertising spending. Still now. This is the reality of life. Right, Dhruv sir? If I am telling that today we have to spend more into other media rather than we are definitely the budget was previously X amount, we are plus X plus 1. But still in digital media, not spending in India, how much we should spend in other country? That's the question. How much we should spend and what is the result we are going to get it? It's very difficult question today in FMCG industry.
That's a great point. Mr. Jain, could you please share how this is applicable to your business?
So this thing is also important as in a print media, but going digital with the YouTube, Facebook, Google, add keywords, something like with Moneycontrols, the Times website, the leading player. This is also important. But how to get proportionate, we are lagging on that. The results, we are lagging on that. We need to get a brush up from you guys who are expertise in this Google or something like that, ma'am. I would pointedly said on you. We need a brush up that how other businesses are working on that, how we can make this challenge an opportunity.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Dhruv. Mr. Lingaraj, if I can draw you in for your comments on what you feel would be the right success metrics for your industry that will help you in acceleration of digital. What will be your definition of success metrics?
It is only one line. How I am monetizing the content that is given with my content team, and how effectively at a better yield rate I am monetizing my content. That is the only success thing, the measure that comes my way, and delivering the content to the end user.
Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Lingaraj. Mr. Sushil, what are your views since we are from the same industry? Would you concur with what Mr. Lingaraj shared?
Actually, quality of content. If quality is there, automatically viewership, readership will increase, and in which digital marketing and digital advertising also will help to improve the revenue and the monetization.
Great. Thank you all for sharing that. As we draw towards the end, I still had one key question which I wanted to take your point of view on. Uh, all of you are leaders of your businesses. If there was one thing which all of you have top of mind for building your 2023 business organization plan with the help of digital marketing, what would that be? If you could just share one thing which was top of mind for you as a business leader, we could probably start with Mr. Asit Roy here.
See, definitely, I already previously told also last 2 years what we have spent or we have seen the growth rate of online business and digitalization business. Definitely, we have to spend more money into budgeting in marketing, in basically in digital uh, advertisement. But question is like that, how much we are going to spend, like Dhruv have also said that how much we have to spend into digital and what is the revenue. Ultimately, we are here to do the business. What is the revenue we are going to get it? Definitely in pandemic, we have having lot have been learned from them. We have to have presence into digital marketing. Without digital marketing, you cannot be move around this today, India or Bharat. So definitely we are working on that. We are having the suggested uh, parameter. How much I am going to spend into digital marketing, how much I am going to spend into offline marketing. Both should be simultaneously. We are going with that. Like we are also like a newspaper. We are also in TV. We are also in normal natural marketing, hoardings, blue board, dealer board, also that will be also required. You cannot deny all these things. Definitely we have to input more into digital marketing, but into the systematic way. That Mr. Dhruv also asking now, what is the systematic way we have to spend? We are working on that in a systematic way. How much you have to spend in digital and what is the revenue we are going to get? That's for myself.
Great. Thank you for sharing. Mr. Sushil, you have already underlined the importance of content. We all know content is king. What would be your number one priority as a business in the next 12 months?
Actually, the 2023 is very crucial for us because in the Chhattisgarh there is a state election. So that's why we already increased the advertisement budget spend, digital advertisement budget spend to 100%, and we are also focusing on the local content and trying to achieve maximum local reader and subscriber. And this strategy will be there in the next and we'll see in the next coming few months.
Great. Thank you for sharing that, Mr. Giri. Mr. Jain, if you have already shown us one snippet into your advertising strategy, for the next 12 months, what would be your top of mind for driving growth for your business?
So, in fact, starting months of this year hasn't been very well for any of the business. Fluctuation prices of the raw material and instability in the market. But if we conclude on the digital era, let's say on that, we are going to create fresh content on that, precise to the precision what the consumer want to hear from us, from perception of proper content, small content, and an acute thing that consumer from our particular space, men, women, under the age of what and what, rural, urban, wants a brand to get spoken out of us. And we are working on creatives for that. and we'll work with this Google team and YouTube team and any other team for that to get things precise, to the point, to the market. And of course, we are going, if I would say that the budget would be increased on this digital aspect, and we are happy to work with leading players like you.
Great. Thank you for that point of view. Lastly, but not and more importantly, Mr. Lingraj, what are your top of mind number one priority for the next 12 months for your organization?
Thank you, Ramesh. My only priority is now I got an opportunity, rather the lead to Ruchita and team. Now my only priority is to just get direct engagement with her and team, see how best I can use Google.
Great. Once again, I would like to thank all of you for your valuable time. It is indeed enriching to understand and see that how all of us can come together in driving success for our customers. I think one key takeaway for all of us was the fact that digital, as so many of you spoke, is not a thing or concept for the future. It's with us as we speak, breathe, eat every day. Also, a key point which so many of you brought forth so clearly is the fact that digital is not an urban phenomenon. I think the Bharat and the Indian comparison was so spot on, and the fact that the opportunity lies in Bharat is also a great point of view, which also then helps me pivot to the next one, which is actually the fact that digital is also not only about English. So vernacular and regional content will be key pillars as digital increases its acceleration in the lives of our consumers. And with consumers, the last thing I would want to draw all of your attention is towards the fact that a consumer is always on. Many of you spoke about the fact that at 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and also probably at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., you will see different kinds of consumers being on digital at different websites, apps, and hence so forth. Hence, it becomes our responsibility to ensure that we can meaningfully engage them for our brands. Lastly, measurement will be the key to success in unlocking digital for your organizations. So, with that, I would like to once again thank all of you for your key participation in today's panel. Thank you so much and have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.